Good day everyone, you are welcome back to my channel as Success Teaches. Today I'll be working on this project. Is an Aso-oke collar with bubu gown, the trending bubu gown with Aso-oke collar. But for me, I will not be making the long one. We have the long one, we have the short one. For me, I'll be making the short one because I have just 2 yards of fabric here to use. So that is the reason why I'm making the short one. So, and I have my Aso-oke, the wine Aso-oke, to complement it with, because of the wine color that I have inside. I have my interfacing here because I'll be needing it during the sewing process. So let's proceed. What I need first is my gown length. If you are doing a longer length, that means you measure the length of your gown by 2. When you measure, assuming you are using length 60, you know this one is just a short one. If you are using length 60, that means you are measuring 60 into 2 plus 4 inches. The 4 inches will be the bending for here and the bending for the other one, other at the back also. That is 2 inches for bending. But for me, because this cloth is just 2 yards, if you are doing the long one, you don't need to have joining at the shoulder side. But this one is going to have joining because it's just a 2 yards fabric. So because of that, I'm using the whole length here because my normal length is 42. So, and I have with me here, I have length 45. So if I join my shoulder, I'll be able to bend the down also. So I'll just fold it into 4 straight up because it's just 2 yards of fabric. So, but if you are doing the long one, I've told you how you are going to measure the length. So the next thing for me is my shoulder. From my center back to my sleeve, my shoulder is 20, but here I have 18. That is what I'm going to use because I told you it's just a 2 yards fabric. So I'll use everything that is here. So for my neckline, I'm going to be marking 4 inches width. 4 inches width. I'm cutting the front and the back together now, but I'll still remove the front part. So the back is, the shoulder is 18 that I have here. My neckline is 4 inches width and 1.5 length. 4 inches width and 1.5 inch length. So I'm going to connect the neck together. I've already connected the neck. So after then is my round sleeve here. How do you want it to tight? Initially I don't want a tight one here, so I'll be using 10 inches here to get my round sleeve. So this 10 inches here. So after that, my length to waistline is 18. I mark my 18. My length to hip line is 24, but I'll be using 25. It's not going to be a fitted dress though. So on my bust circumference, I have bust 42. I'm going to be using bust 42 because it's a free dress. So 42 divided by 4, that is 10.5. The 10.5, I'm going to put ease of 1 inch because this dress will not be having zip. So because it's not going to be having a zipper for me to be convenient in wearing it. So 10.5 plus 1, that is 11.5. And I'm going to sew it inside by 1 inch, that is 12.5. So maybe I should repeat what I said here. My normal bust is 10.5 because it's a free dress. If I'm doing a very fitted one, I normally use 40. So 10.5 plus 1 inch is. It's not going to be tight because it's not going to be having a zipper, and I'm sewing it by 1 inch. So at the waistline here, I'm going to be using 38, which is 9.5. 9.5. My normal waist is 35, 36, but I told you it's not a fitted cloth. So 38 will be 9.5. 9.5 plus 1 is, that is 10.5 plus 1 inch that I'm going to use to sew it. That's it here. So at the hip line also, my normal hip is 42, but for this I'm going to be using 44. So which is 11. 11 plus is 1, that is 12, plus my sewing allowance, that is 13. So from here, I'll just take that same measurement. If you want it down to just be straight, you just take that from that hip down. But if you want it to have like a shape at the down, but for me, I don't want it to have like a shape at the down because it's a free gown. So I'm just going to measure what I get on the hip side. I'll measure it and put it at the down also. So we are just going to connect all the measurements together. So this one will come like this. So in connecting it here, I'm going to cuff it into the armhole like this. You know, it's cut together with sleeve. So I'm going to cuff this place like this. So this is my bust. I use 10 for the armhole length. That's the width here. I don't want it tight, not unlike this one that is tight. I used 10 for it here, and I used at the waistline here, I used my waist divided into 4 plus 1 plus 1 inch sewing, also at the hip and the down, also at the bust also. So for this, because it's going to have joining here, I'm going to do a shoulder slant of 1 inch here. But if I cut the one that is straight, that does not have joining, so I don't need to do a shoulder slant here. So I'll just do a shoulder slant to my neckline, because of the joining that is here, so that it won't be bulging here. So these are what I'm going to connect together. So I'll cut. I'm cutting both the front and the back panel together. It is only at the front that the Aso-oke will be. So it's going to come into the neck round, but the more effect is on the front side. So this is it. After cutting it out like this is what I have. This is what I have here. So I'm going to remove one. I'm going to remove one, which is for the back. I'll remove one for the back. So before I start working, oh sorry, I did not open this place. So this is the one for the back. But if you are doing a cut together one, you don't need to remove it, just shift it one side. So this is my front panel now. So for the front panel, you know, when we are marking, I mark 4 inches width by 1.5 for the back. So for the front, it depends on how I want it to come down, but for this I'm not going to be letting it to be open too much. I'm going to be using 5 inches. So that 5 inches, that will be 4 by 5 inches. I'm going to connect it to my 4 widths. After connecting it, at the front there is an opening. How do you want it to open before the remaining Aso-oke goes down? As you can see in the picture, I'm going to be coming down by 9. You can actually come down by whatever you want, but I don't want my cleavage to open. So this 9 here, you know, the normal neck is 4 by 5 or 4 by anything you are using. So I'm going to be cuffing this place because the neck is not going to be round. So I'm going to be cuffing it to this place. So as it's coming from up, it's going to round to this place. You can see it very well, and I'll take it downwards. and 2, sorry, I'm going to be coming in. You measure the length of your Aso-oke. This Aso-oke, I have 5 here, and it's going to be on fold. So by this 5 that is going to be on fold, that will be 2.5 inches. So when I want to deduct, no, you are going to place it in the front like this. When I want to deduct, I will deduct 2 inches out of the normal gown. I will deduct 2 inches from there to the down. So I'll measure 2 inches that I'll cut out, because I'm placing something of 2.5 inches inside. So I'll be using the 1/2 inch to sew it. So it is from here I will now connect to the neck. You have to blend it well so that there won't be a form of bulge there. So this is what I have. We are going to cut from the neck. So this is what I have. So this is the front pattern now. You can see it's coming like this there. So this is where I'm going to place the Aso-oke. That is how I'm going to place it through to the neck. So the next thing for me is to take both the front and back. I want to measure the length of the Aso-oke that I'll be using. It's as if I have already connected the neck like this. If it doesn't have joining, there is no need for you to be putting it back. So I want to measure what I need for the Aso-oke. So you are measuring it from the back, because the Aso-oke will be the collar. It will come from the front to the back. So that is what I'm trying to measure. So I need length 50 here. So that means that length 50 will be times 2, because I measure one part. So I need length 50, and that is what I'll measure on my Aso-oke. So the 50 will be times 2. But mind you, you don't cut it that exactly 50, because don't cut it the actual thing you measure here. In the course of sewing, it can shift, it can go and be small. So I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches. That is 51.5. I measure 1, so the second one 2. 51.5. So this is it like this. I'll cut it out. So this is what I need for my collar. So this is the remaining. I'll put it aside. I don't need it again. So this is what I have here. I'm through with this one. So I'll show you how to put, if you want to put an inner pocket or you want to put an outside one, it all depends on you. For my pocket, I'll be using 1 inch below my waistline, or you can use your waistline, but this, since this is a free dress, I'm using 1 inch below my waistline. So that is where my pocket will start from. And my pocket length, you can use 6. For female, 6 is okay, so that it won't be too much. 18, this is my waistline. So 1 inch below it, I'll start the pocket from there, and I'll measure 6 for the hip pocket opening. So you notch it on both sides, for the front and the back. So that's where we are going to put our pocket. So as you can see, when I place the front and the back together, there is the space for the Aso-oke there. So the next thing for me, this is the Aso-oke and my interfacing. I'm going to cut tape. So I've already hung my iron. So I'm going to put stay on it. So you are going to gum the stay. So let me quickly gum the stay and show you how we are going to do it next. So as you can see, I've already put interfacing on my Aso-oke. It's full interfacing. I've already put it, and also I've bent it into 2 equal parts. So this is what I have already. It was 5 inches length. When I put the interfacing and I bend it into 2, I have 2.5 inches here, and I told you that I removed 2 inches from the front, so because I'm going to be placing it. So how are we going to sew it? I wanted to show us how we are going to sew it before going to the machine. So for the neck opening, I'm not just going to place it straight because I don't want it to show anyhow. So for the neck opening, I told you the neck opening, I'm using 9 in the front here. So I've already notched my 9 inches here, but I shift my hand down a little bit to make it 10 up to this place, because I don't want, it's Aso-oke, and as this one is soft, there are some that are not soft. It can be itching you on your neck. So from this notching side, for me, I'm going to be measuring what the neck round will be. So you measure it like this. So here I have 14.5. So that 14.5, I'll fold this Aso-oke into 2 equal parts. I will have said you should notch the middle, but you know that this Aso-oke, because this one is a good one, that's why it's not removing. There are some, before you know it will have removed finish. So I'll just chalk it. I'll just chalk the center here. So after chalking it like this, I measure 14.5 from here to this back. So this will be my center back. This is what I'm trying to do for you, how you are going to put it here. So I'll measure the 14.5. So I'll approximate it to 15 because I don't want it to short at the end of the day. So this 15 here, I'll mark it. So that means this is what will be from here to here, like this, for my neck. So that is where the opening will start from. So the remaining is going down. So for the down also, because what I want to do now, I want to sew this one in. I want to sew it in. I don't want the joining. It will just, this is how we are going to do the neck. This is how the neck is going to come. So it's not just something we join like this, because it's going to be closed. It's not like. So now I'm already on the machine, and this is my Aso-oke. I've turned it inside. This is the center back that I marked outside for you. So this is the full length. So that 15 that I told you that I will use for the opening from the front to the back, this is it, and I will mark it inside. I've already marked it inside. This is from here to here. I've already marked it. So what I'm going to do is, this line I've used my iron to bend. I'm going to sew it in. I'm going to sew it in like this. If you want it to be opening at the down, but for me, I don't want an opening because it's a short one. But if you want opening, you can actually open it. So on that line, we are going to sew it. On that line, that is what we are sewing now. We are going to sew it. But if it's a long one, it will have an opening so that you'll be able to walk. But because this is a short one, and even if it's a short one, it depends on the person that is wearing it. So if you want an opening, you will measure what you want to use to open it. So maybe I should open it a little bit for you so that you can understand. I will not open it much. You know there is 2 inches bending there. So I'll be opening it by just 5 inches. That means I'll measure 7 inches with opening. I measured 7 inches. 5 inches will be for bending and 2 inches will be for the opening. So once I sew it like this is how it will come outside. You get it now? So this place will be like this. You have already sewn it. This is how it will be. And once you put it on your neck, this is how it's going to look like. You can see where the opening is. So if you want your own to still go up, for me I use that 15. So if you want your own to still go up, you can actually do it that way. So this is what I'm going to join now. So you can see the opening is there for you, and this is what I'm going to join. I'm going to join these sides to the Ankara fabric here. So I'll do it and come and show you. So guys, I'm through joining it. As you can see, my end result, this is the opening here. So I have joined the Aso-oke on the neck to the front. You can see the opening at the down. I told you it's just a little opening for me. So I have my remaining Aso-oke, which I don't want it to waste. So I'm putting it on my sleeve side. I'm notching the middle of the Aso-oke and the middle of the sleeve, because it's not that much. So I'm joining it to the sleeve side to make it a little bit longer. So this is what I have here. As you can see, this is what I have. So the second one also. So the next thing for me, I'll join the sides. After joining the side, I'll put the pocket. And for this front, you can actually embellish it with a diamond stone, or you can put some applique on it for the Aso-oke parts. You know it's plain, but there are some Aso-oke that have lines. You might not need to put embellishment on it. So it all depends on what you want. So I'm through with it now. So I'll join the sides. When I join the sides, I put the pocket. I'll come back and show you my end result. Stay. So guys, I'm through with the sewing of the gown. You can see what I did. See the neck. You can actually see the neck. This is the opening for the neck, and this is the neck here. I told you the remaining Aso-oke, I put it on the sleeve. This is it here, and the down is just a small opening. You can actually open it longer if you want. So this is what I have, and this is the pocket. I did an inner pocket in it. This is the pocket, and I told you that you can actually embellish on it if you like. So guys, this is the end result of the Aso-oke collar gown that I did. I told you I used just 2 yards of Ankara and 100 inches length of Aso-oke, and the Aso-oke is 5 inches width, which we use for the neck. You can see the finishing that is very neat. That is why I put a stay for it to be able to stand well. So also at the sleeve there is a stay. Thank you guys for staying back. If this video has been helpful, please kindly give it a thumbs up. See you in my next video.